Hey, beautiful Scorpio souls. Grab your coffee and settle in because what I'm about to share with you today is going to shift everything you thought you knew about that special someone in your life. I just pulled cards for you, and honestly, the energy coming through is so raw and authentic that I had to double check what I was seeing. You know that feeling when you've been sensing something brewing beneath the surface, but couldn't quite put your finger on it? Well, Scorpio, your intuitive powers have been absolutely on point because someone in your orbit has been going through an internal earthquake, and they're finally ready to let those walls crumble down. Let me tell you what happened when I sat down with your cards today. The energy was immediately different, like the universe had been waiting for this exact moment to reveal something that's been building for months. And when I say months, I mean this person has been carrying something heavy in their chest, something they've been afraid to voice because once those words leave their lips, there's no taking them back. The first card that practically flew out of my deck was the Four of Swords, and I have to tell you, this stopped me in my tracks. Now, most people would look at this card and think about rest or meditation, but what I'm seeing here is so much deeper. This person has been in a state of forced stillness, like they've been lying awake at night staring at the ceiling, mind racing with everything they want to say to you, but haven't found the courage yet. The Four of Swords is telling me they've been in this internal retreat, not by choice, but by necessity. They needed this time to process their feelings, to really understand what's been growing in their heart. Think about it like this. You know how before a storm there's this eerie calm where everything feels suspended? That's where they've been living, Scorpio. In that space between knowing and speaking, between feeling and revealing. But here's what's absolutely fascinating about this card in your reading. The figure in the Four of Swords isn't sleeping peacefully. They're in contemplation, hands positioned in prayer. This person has been praying, literally or metaphorically, for the right words, the right moment, the right way to approach you with what's been consuming their thoughts. I'm getting the sense that they've rehearsed conversations with you in their head hundreds of times. They've imagined every possible scenario, every possible response you might give. This isn't someone who's casual about their feelings. This is someone who understands that what they're about to share with you has the power to change everything between you two. The energy around this card is telling me they've been protecting themselves from their own vulnerability. You see, Scorpio, this person recognizes your power, your ability to see through facades, and that both thrills and terrifies them. They know that once they open up to you, there's no pretending, no surface-level connection. With you, it's all or nothing, and they've finally accepted that they want the all. What's coming through so clearly is that their period of silence wasn't rejection or disinterest, it was preparation. They were getting their heart ready for the intensity that comes with being emotionally naked in front of a Scorpio, because they know you don't do shallow, you don't do half-truths, and they respect that about you enough to make sure they're coming to you completely authentic. The second card that emerged was the Knight of Cups, and oh my goodness, the shift in energy was immediate. If the Four of Swords was about internal preparation, the Knight of Cups is about external action. This person is mounting their white horse, so to speak, and they're coming to you as a romantic warrior, ready to lay their heart at your feet. But here's what's so beautiful about this Knight of Cups energy. It's not reckless or impulsive like other knights can be. This is someone who's combining emotion with purpose, passion with intention. They've done their inner work. They've sat with their feelings long enough to know they're real and lasting, and now they're ready to move forward with certainty. The Knight of Cups is telling me this person sees you as their destiny, not just a crush or a passing attraction. There's something almost fairy tale-like about how they view what could be between you two. They've been dreaming about a future where they can love you openly, where they don't have to hide their feelings or pretend they're just friends when everyone can see the way they look at you. I'm seeing water imagery so strongly with this card. Flowing rivers, gentle rain, the ocean at sunset. This person's love for you flows like water, constant and natural. It's not forced or manufactured. It's as organic as breathing. They've probably found themselves thinking about you at the most random moments, while making coffee in the morning, during boring meetings, right before falling asleep at night. The Knight of Cups is also showing me that they're ready to be emotionally generous with you. They want to shower you with affection, with attention, with all the romantic gestures they've been holding back. This isn't someone who's going to love you halfway. They're prepared to dive deep into the emotional waters that Scorpios navigate so naturally. What's really striking me about this card is the timing aspect. Knights represent movement, action, forward momentum. The universe is telling me that this person has reached their tipping point. They can't maintain the status quo anymore because their feelings have grown too big to contain. It's like trying to keep the ocean in a teacup. Eventually, it's going to overflow. Now, the third card that appeared was the Eight of Pentacles, and this one made me sit back and really contemplate what Spirit was trying to tell me. Most people would look at this card and think about work or skill development. But in the context of your reading, Scorpio, this is about something much more profound. The Eight of Pentacles is showing me that this person has been crafting their approach to you with the dedication of a master artisan. Every text they've sent, every conversation you've had, every moment they've spent in your presence, they've been learning you, studying what makes you smile, what makes you laugh, what touches your soul. They've been paying attention to details that most people would miss. They notice when your energy shifts, when something is bothering you, even if you haven't said anything. They remember things you mentioned in passing weeks ago. This card is telling me they've been building a foundation of understanding because they want to love you in exactly the way you need to be loved. The Eight of Pentacles also represents mastery, and what I'm seeing is that this person has finally mastered their own fear. They've worked through their insecurities, their doubts, their worries about not being enough for someone as intense and perceptive as a Scorpio. They've put in the emotional labor to become someone worthy of your depth. There's something so beautiful about this card appearing in your reading because it shows intentionality. This isn't someone who's going to waste your time with games or uncertainty. They've done their homework, they understand what it means to be in connection with a Scorpio, and they're prepared for the level of authenticity and intensity that requires. I'm also seeing craftsmanship in how they plan to reveal their feelings. This isn't going to be a sloppy, awkward confession. They've been thinking about how to honor both your time and their truth. They want to create a moment that feels sacred, that acknowledges the significance of what they're sharing. The fourth card that made its presence known was the Hermit, and initially, I thought this might contradict the forward movement I was seeing in the other cards, but then the message became crystal clear, and it's actually the most beautiful part of this entire reading. The Hermit isn't about isolation in your context. It's about inner illumination. This person has been on a spiritual journey of self-discovery, and you, Scorpio, have been the light guiding them home to themselves. They've realized that their feelings for you aren't just romantic attraction. They're a call to become the highest version of themselves. Being around you, thinking about you, imagining a future with you has inspired them to do deep inner work. They've confronted parts of themselves they've been avoiding, healed wounds they didn't even know existed, all because they want to show up for you as someone completely whole and authentic. The Hermit card is telling me they've found wisdom in solitude, but now they're ready to share that wisdom with you. They want to show you what they've discovered about themselves during this period of introspection. They're not coming to you from a place of neediness or incompleteness. They're coming from a place of self-awareness and inner strength. What's so profound about this card is that it shows they understand the spiritual nature of what exists between you two. This isn't just about physical attraction or compatibility. They recognize that you two have the potential for a soul-deep connection that could transform both of your lives. The Lantern. The Hermit carries represents the light of truth, and this person is ready to shine that light on their feelings, their intentions, their hopes for what you two could build together. They've spent enough time in the darkness of uncertainty, and now they're ready to step into the light of honest communication. The fifth card, and this one really surprised me, was the Two of Swords. Now, you might think this represents indecision, but what I'm channeling for you is completely different. This card is showing me that this person has been weighing their options, not about whether they have feelings for you. That's never been in question, but about the best way to honor those feelings. The Two of Swords represents the tension between their heart and their head. Their heart has been screaming your name for months, but their head has been trying to protect them from potential rejection or complications. They've been in this internal debate about whether speaking their truth is worth the risk of changing your dynamic. But here's what's beautiful. The blindfold on the figure in the Two of Swords is being removed. They're finally ready to see clearly, to stop overthinking and start feeling their way forward. They've realized that living in uncertainty is more painful than facing the possibility of rejection. The crossed swords behind the figure represent the protection they've been building around their heart, but those same swords can be lowered in surrender. They're ready to be vulnerable with you, to remove their emotional armor and show you the tender heart beneath. This card is also telling me about timing. The moon in the background of the Two of Swords represents cycles, and their cycle of hesitation is coming to an end. The next lunar phase is bringing clarity and courage. They've been waiting for the right moment, and that moment is approaching faster than either of you realizes. What's really coming through strongly is that they've been protecting you too, not just themselves. They didn't want to complicate your life or put pressure on you with feelings you might not reciprocate, but they've finally understood that hiding their truth isn't protecting anyone. It's actually preventing both of you from experiencing something potentially beautiful. Now, my final card absolutely blew me away because it's so unexpected yet so perfect for what's happening in your energy, Scorpio. The Nine of Cups appeared, and this is pure emotional fulfillment energy, but not in the way you might think. The Nine of Cups isn't just about getting what you want. It's about the deep satisfaction that comes from emotional authenticity. This person is about to experience the relief and joy that comes with finally speaking their truth to you. Regardless of how you respond, they're going to feel lighter, freer, more aligned with their authentic self. But here's what the cards are really telling me. This Nine of Cups energy is mutual. You're both going to benefit from this honest conversation that's coming. Even if it doesn't lead to romance immediately, it's going to create a deeper level of understanding and respect between you two. The figure in the Nine of Cups sits with arms crossed in satisfaction, surrounded by cups representing emotional fulfillment. This tells me that when this person finally opens up to you, it's going to feel like all the emotional cups they've been carrying around can finally be filled and appreciated. I'm seeing celebration energy around this card too. Not necessarily a big dramatic scene, but a quiet celebration of truth, of courage, of two people being real with each other. There's going to be this moment of recognition where you both understand that everything between you is about to shift into something more honest and authentic. The Nine of Cups is also showing me wish fulfillment, and I have to tell you, Scorpio, this person's deepest wish is simply to be able to love you openly. They don't need guarantees or promises. They just want the freedom to express what's been growing in their heart without having to hide it anymore. What's really beautiful about all 6 of these cards together is the story they tell. This is someone who has been on a complete emotional journey, from contemplation to preparation, from fear to courage, from hiding to revealing. They've done the inner work necessary to approach you with maturity and authenticity. The timeline I'm seeing suggests this conversation is going to happen within the next few weeks. The energy is building to a crescendo, and they're going to reach a point where staying silent becomes more difficult than speaking up. You might notice them acting slightly different around you, more attentive, more present, maybe a little nervous but in a sweet way. Here's what I want you to know, beautiful Scorpio. Whatever this person shares with you is coming from the deepest, most authentic part of their being. They're not playing games or testing waters. This is someone who has spent considerable time understanding their own heart and is ready to share that understanding with you. Your Scorpio intuition has probably been picking up on the shift in their energy. You might have sensed that something was different, that they were holding something back. Trust those instincts because they've been absolutely accurate. This person has been carrying feelings for you that are significant and real. The beautiful thing about this entire situation is that it's going to give you the opportunity to respond from a place of complete honesty too. No more guessing about their intentions, no more wondering if you're reading too much into their actions. You're going to have clarity, and with clarity comes the power to make decisions that honor both of your hearts. Whatever your response ends up being, know that this conversation is going to be healing for both of you. It's going to clear the air and allow your connection to exist on whatever level feels most authentic and comfortable. So keep your heart open, dear Scorpio, because someone is gathering all their courage to offer you theirs.